Have you ever been on a negative thought spiral? If you have, you know it is a nightmare spiral. It just brings you lower and lower and lower. There's a scientific reason behind that. It's your mental and emotional system working together to create a spiral. In this video, I'm gonna break down for you what that is and what to do about it. Before I start, Cruel Intentions t-shirt, awesome. Thank you, Target. Anyway, negative thought spirals happen to everybody and they are super common. And I'm gonna give you a personal example from my life to really break down how a negative thought spiral works. So I was on a date this one time with this guy, and he was like super cute and super nice, and you know, we were having a great lunch and it was a great time. And then he asked me, he was like, what are you doing tomorrow? And I said, oh, I'm not doing anything. So thinking like, if somebody asks you what you're doing tomorrow, I feel like it's kind of an opening to see what you're up to see if you want to hang out. So then I said, what are you doing tomorrow? And he was like, oh, I'm not doing anything. And then I said, thinking that this was what was happening, I was like, oh, maybe we can do lunch tomorrow. And he said, I actually think I may have to go to the DMV. Don't ever go on a date and then tell someone that you would rather be at the DMV than hang out with that person. Oh my God. I just never heard of such a thing. I was like, I mean, even if he didn't want to hang out with me, that's a really rude way of saying it, I think, right? I mean, I just couldn't fathom saying that to somebody. I wouldn't say that to my mother, and she's really annoying sometimes. I wouldn't say that to the homeless guy on the street. I'm gonna go to the DMV. Can you spare $1? No, I'm gonna go to the DMV. That's a terrible thing to say. I mean, for me, I would literally rather do anything than go to the DMV. I would rather go get my teeth pulled. I would rather swim in shark-infested waters. I would rather go by myself to a child's beauty pageant in Ohio and then have everybody ask me, which child are you here for? Be forced to say, nah, I'm just here for the bikini pageant. Anyway, when he said that, I was like, okay, I guess date's over. And so I shut down. I was like, okay. I just decided that it was over. I was like, this is ridiculous. And so then he went home, but then I was already on a negative spiral, right? I was like, am I that you know how when we have a tendency to have a bad day, we start blaming ourselves for the bad day? You know what I mean? So like, I was like, am I not cute? Am I, do I smell bad? Am I too loud? Am I too quiet? Am I too quiet? That's a joke. Then the thought spiral happens. So it starts with, I think I'm annoying, I think I must be bad on dates, I don't know how to talk to people, I'm gonna be alone for the rest of my life, I'll never find love again, oh my God, I'm gonna be an old spinster and have 17 cats and live alone in Miami. Out of control, right? Out of control. But we've all been there. How did I get from somebody making a joke about the DMV to, oh my God, I'm gonna die alone forever and ever, amen, and end up like the golden girl with no friends? But here's the weird thing, actually. The day after, he texted and he was like, hey, I had a great time with you. And I was like, huh? But it was already too late. I was already on a negative thought spiral, so it didn't matter what he said. I was already in a bad mood. Not to blame him for it, you know? He said what he said. I mean, he could have honestly meant a million things by that. Like, maybe he really did have to go to the DMV, but I took it as, oh my God, just, here's a tip. Don't say that to people. Just don't. Actually, that happens to me all the time, like where I say like, oh, like a friend might invite me to dinner. I'm like, yeah, I'll go over to your house for dinner. And then I think about it and I'm like, oh my God, I'm supposed to, you know, get my hair done. Like, I forget things all the time. So it could have been that he actually forgot that he was supposed to go to the DMV. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, the point here is the thought spiral reaction that I had, as opposed to the trigger. You can't control what other people do. You can only control your reaction to what other people do. So he said what he said. What did I do with it? I went into a thought spiral. So let's break down what a thought spiral is so that we don't have to do this again, because it's a painful experience. The reason for thought spirals is a thing called emotional momentum. Your thought system actually is very much influenced by your emotions. So it can be out of your control sometimes. Sometimes, let's say for example, you woke up in the middle of the night and you have a really sad dream, okay? You wake up and you don't feel good. That sadness will actually trigger a thought up here that matches the tone of sadness. So you wake up and you're sad. You're not gonna go from, I'm so sad, oh boy, what a great day. Like, that doesn't happen. You go, boy, what a sad. Another day at work. That thought, another day at work, matches the tone of the sadness, except that thought triggers another feeling of sadness, right? Oh, another day at work, this sucks. And then it comes back up here. I have to go see that stupid dork of a boss that I have to work for, and I just do not like him. Another sad feeling. Oh, my car is gonna break down any moment. Another sad feeling. And on it goes. And depending on how you focus, it can intensify to, my car is gonna break down soon. I don't have any help ever to get whatever I need to get done. I'm gonna die alone. Like, it can go very quickly. However, unless you're aware of how this works, you can very easily get on that train to, misery land, and you can stay in that way forever. When you go to sleep, usually you stop thinking, right? So you can wake up with a new mood, but unless you're conscious of how this works, you can just take the train down to misery land. And like I said, it could get worse. Another example, you might wake up, you might watch, a sad movie, and you'll be like, oh, I'm gonna die alone. I'm gonna be a hoarder. So it can just get worse. It can just get worse and worse and worse. Unless you can activate a change in your emotional state by focusing your thoughts consciously for about 60 seconds. That's all it takes. No joke. So what I could have done is, this guy doesn't like me, sad feeling. I'm gonna be alone, sad feeling, and go, oh, wait, I'm in a thought spiral. What can I focus on? I could go, well, at least I'm aware of my thought spiral, and this is just a mechanism. And I'm doing great for noticing my thought spiral. And then you go start your own thought spiral conscientiously for 60 seconds. You just keep going and going. You're doing a great job of being aware. You're taking emotional care of yourself. That guy was weird for saying that DMV thing. He was being unclear. I'm really cute. I don't know what he's talking about. So like, you start your own spiral, but you don't have the help of your emotions yet. So you have to supersede this emotional momentum that you got going and start your own thought spiral for 60 seconds straight in one direction. And do not let this influence your thoughts. Once you do this, it will trigger an emotion inside you, right? That matches where you were going with this. Isn't that interesting? All it takes is 60 seconds of concentrated effort. But have you ever sat for 60 seconds and tried this? It's a long ass time. Like, people think, oh, 60 seconds is nothing. It's actually something. When you have a lot of emotional momentum going already, it can be very, very difficult to hold focus for 60 seconds. But you go ahead and do that. Hold focus for 60 seconds. Here's the other thing. You don't want to go and do the holding focus on something that's completely the opposite. So if you're already in an emotional momentum over here of I'm not lovable, you don't want to be like, I'm the best person ever. It's too big of a jump. You can go, that date might not have gone well, but hey, like, that's just a part of it, and I'm happy with me. Something that you can believe from your position, and ride that train. Ride the train of something that you can believe from your current standpoint. You're not gonna be able to go from, oh, like my I'm gonna be alone for the rest of my life to, oh, I'm gonna be married. Like, it's just too big of a jump. So you have to find something that feels truthful for you and feels better, and hold that focus for 60 seconds. You interrupt that pattern consciously and ignore the emotions just for 60 seconds until it picks up that this is where it's gonna go, and then the emotion momentum kicks in and it'll help you go on a new spiral. You follow? So I want you to check out my blog post on the thought game. The thought game is a game that I developed to help you out of negative spirals, and also to just improve your position on like what you're thinking in your life. It's a very, very helpful tool. I want you to check that out. Also, there's another factor at play that I want you to be aware of. It's called the reticular activating system. Real quickly, reticular activating system filters, distorts, generalizes, and deletes incoming information to match whatever is going on inside you, okay? It's literally a part of your system. So if you're not aware of what's going on inside you, it'll just take what it takes. And so it's really good to be aware of that. So I want you to check out those 2 posts, and thanks for watching. I hope this process works for you, and let me know if it does. Send me an email or something. All right, thanks guys.